Hello girls and boys, I'm Daniel Mustran, I'm pipe maker from Croatia. You are watching my channel, thank you for dropping by, and also thank you for your likes and subscriptions. Today I wanted to talk about 5 tobaccos that I personally like, that are kind of my favorites, and they are not necessarily the best, but they are the best for, let's say, my taste right now. That list will certainly change with time, because there are so many tobacco varieties that you cannot possibly try them all. Even if you never practically smoke the same tin in your life and just smoke tin after tin of different tobaccos, you will probably never smoke through them all. So yeah, what I've tried in these 11-12 years since I'm smoking pipes, these are my personal choices. Okay, so the first tobacco is one more thing. Those tobaccos are still in production, so we are talking about tobaccos that you can find, and they are still in production, so we cannot talk about my personal favorite, and I was so sad they closed the business. I'm talking about, of course, McClelland, because I started smoking pipes using their mixture called Dark English, and it's a mixture number 5110, and that was the number one all times tobacco for me. It was like a chamomile tea for me, and yeah, it's gone. And the second was probably their cellar and in the town, and so many, so many different mixtures in that particular brand of pipe tobacco, and a lot of guys have said that they are gone. Also Germains, they also had really nice tobaccos, so yeah, you cannot find them anymore, and that's a sad thing, unless they are vintage. I'm talking about production. So my personal favorites, 5 of them, not in an order like the best, from best to worst or worst to best. It's just random order. Okay, so first one is probably just for him, mixture called the Ruins of Isengard. Since I'm a Latakia smoker, and I love smoking Latakias, I like also varieties of Latakias, also those that go towards aromatics, just a little bit to spice up my life, So this tobacco, it's from the Middle Earth series. You also have several others, but this one is my personal favorite, and it's a really kind of crazy mixture. It has not too much strength, and yeah, you can say it's light to maybe mild regarding nicotine levels, and it's a sort of aromatic. It has some burleys, it has some Virginias, it has Latakias and some Cavendish tobaccos in there, and it smokes thick, and it will not bite you, which is really important for me, because I'm not a heavy smoker. I like to smoke, especially when I have some time for myself, and I use that time to smoke a pipe or two or something. And recently I started to smoke in the workshop, which I never did until half a year ago. I started to do that. So Ruins of Isengard, they were mixed by I think Bob Schaefer, and it's a ribbon cut, And as I said, really mild, thick mixture that smokes thick. It will not leave you a lot of moisture at the end. It will not give you many headaches while using it, you know. So it kind of mixes two worlds, aromatics and latakias, in a very interesting way. Okay, so some might probably not like it because it's such a mixture that some guys even say that they cannot, they don't like to use it simply because it's not a straightforward mixture. You don't know if it's aromatic, you don't know if it's latakia, but for me personally it's perfect because just because of that, because you cannot, if you are smoking latakias, as I said, then adding such a mixture like ruins of Isengard in your daily rotation is, for me, is really welcome, because it spices up a little bit everything. So you get varieties in your life, you get, you know, it enriches your pipe smoking life, let's say it like that. So the next mixture I want to mention is a mixture, and oh, by the way, just for him, Ruins of Isengard mixture we started to smoke in a really small circle of friends in my hometown, and I also have very dear memories connected to this mixture, and also several others and McClellan's. So the mixture is really dear to me, and it's a sad thing that I can get it in my country, but it's really hard and really expensive. So I will try to catch it in on Chicago Pipe Show, maybe to send it to the hotel or something, but just to you know, have a stash of it again, because I just ran out of it. So yeah, I will have to look after that I get some more, like for a stash for a year, something like that. So another mixture that I wanted to talk about was a tip from a good old friend that pointed me out to that mixture when we were in China at the China Pipe Show. So thank you, George, for the tip. And it became also one of my absolute favorite tobaccos. I'm talking about Orlik Golden Sliced. We bought 2 tins. I bought 2 tins in Beijing, and I smoked right through both of those tins, like, you know, started and until I finished those 2, I was not done. And yes, I got more, and it's in my tobacco cellar right now, and I love it. It is a little bit, let's say, it's not strong mixture. It's a little bit like mild to strong, more closer to mild mixture. So it personally, it hits me, especially if I have a big bowl filled up right to the top. So what it has Virginias, and from what I know, the debate on internet is if it has burley or perique. Personally, I don't like perique that much. And personally, I don't care if it has any of those tobaccos, because I like the blend. And as I said, it's my go-to tobacco if I want to smoke some Virginias. Usually I go to Orlik and get me some golden sliced, and then I'm happy. So there were some reports that there are some hints of citrusy taste in it. I don't know. When I'm smoking, I'm a related tobaccos. I'm pretty easy guy, with first few smells of the mixture, and with first few puffs, I know if I like it or not, usually. Yeah, and if I like it, it will only grow onto to me, or I will use it only occasionally, So I'm not thinking about bits and pieces that I feel while smoking that tobacco. What I want to get from smoking is time for myself, space where I can look into myself, or just be in peace with myself, So I don't analyze. I know that I like it or not, and this one I really do. So if it has a little bit burley or perique, or if it is citrusy or not, whatever, So I cannot help you much with that information. But if you are looking for Virginia tobacco that is really, really good, my personal choice would be Orlik golden sliced. So it does burn slow, maybe even slower than what you might expect, and what is also good, and what I prefer, it will usually not bite you. That is a good characteristic that I always look when smoking tobaccos. I don't like them to bite, because I'm not a hardcore pipe smoker. I smoke around 2 pipes, nowadays even 3 pipes per day, and that's rare. So usually it's 1 or 2 pipes per day, so I'm not that hardcore. So my ton is okay, but I don't like my tobaccos to bite. So overall, this is a very good everyday combination mixture that I can recommend, like no brain, just use it. So that's about it. Another mixture that I really like is a mixture from Hu Tobacco from Germany. It's called Reiko In Between. It's also a mixture that I'm really attached to, because of the fact that it was a gift from a dear friend, Timea from Germany, and she was actually the first pipe smoker and woman that visited me in my hometown from other country. So we developed throughout these years a really good friendship, and we meet in a yearly basis in my hometown, because she has some business here, and yeah, she's a great friend, and I have great well, even memories from our meetings. So yeah, on her last trip to my hometown, she brought me the Reiko In Between, and that's actually a Cyprian Latakia based tobacco with some Cavendish and some Burley and Virginias, a really complex mixture, even for my opinion, and from what I can say, it has a lot of Latakia in it, which is great for me. I love it. And also you can feel that it has some cocoa flavor in it, So it's also something like an aromatic, sort of, because of that cocoa, but similar to ruins, you cannot you cannot say, okay, that's aromatic. It has a lot of Latakia in it, so it's Latakian aromatic sort of thing. And also it's not that crazy regarding nicotine hit. It's more toward mild tobacco. So yeah, it doesn't burn too fast. From my point of view, it will not bite you also, which is, as I said, great for me. And I haven't had any problems with it. It's just like with Orlik. If you want Virginias, it's like with Reiko. It just goes. So for me, it's one of the everyday smokers that I like and use, and that's why it is in between those five tobaccos on this list. So the next one would be two of the tobaccos actually are next on the list, and I kind of started to use them around in the same time, and both of them grow on me because they are really not complicated at all. They are straightforward, mild, and not crazy in any way. You really know what you get with them if you start like using them. So one of them is Balkan Sasieni. There is also a Latakia based tobacco with some Virginias and some Orientals, and it's a tobacco that is cut in ribbons, and it has sort of a long history that started in London, from what I know, and it's also an everyday smoker for me, a really good one, not complicated at all. It will not bite you, and I am just going through one of the tins right now. Even if it dries out a little bit, it will not be too crazy, it will not be hard on you. So if you want, from my point of view, if you want a good reliable Latakia blend, like yeah, with some Orientals and stuff, just go for Balkan Sasieni. It's really good, just yeah, it's really good. Nothing more to say there. Just try it. Yeah, that's one, and the last one on the list for me, it also grew on me recently, like Balkan Sasieni did. It's a Presbyterian mixture, so from Planta. So that's a crazy stuff. Yeah, it has a history. That mixture started long time ago, like at the beginning of previous century, like in 1930s or something like that, and it was actually made for a guy that, from what I remember, that was kind of a minister of something, I think in Scotland or something. Anyway, not to bother you with history, it got its name Presbyterian mixture. After a while, it didn't have a name at first, and from what I know, it's also kind of a debate if it has Latakia or not in the mixture. Personally, I think it has a little bit, because it certainly smells like it has a little bit of Latakia in it. And it starts, when you start smoking it, it starts like a mild tasted mixture that is not too crazy, and like an easy smoke, but from my perspective it's kind of a trick, because nicotine kick is not mild at all, or better say it's not light at all. It's more towards mild in my perspective, and it smokes really well. And as I said, if you are not used to, if you are used to light tobaccos, be careful with that one, because it starts like a light tobacco, light taste. It tastes good, from my perspective, and it's not that expensive tobacco either. So from my point of view, it's really interesting to have it in a cellar, because it's a good value for money in my perspective. So it smokes clean, no problems with moisture, tastes good, burns down until the end without any issues. I haven't had any. And yeah, overall, it's also one of the everyday smokers. So even if we are not sure if it has Latakias or not, whatever, I don't care. I like it. I bought it because I thought it has Latakia when I was reading about it, but now I'm not sure, and personally I don't care. So yeah, those are my 5 tobaccos that I really like right now and that are in production right now, so not discounted, because in these days a lot of tobacco blenders go, from what I can see, are hard to find or go out of the business, which is sad. I had so many mixtures that I really liked, like for example Bob's Chocolate Flake, that I cannot find unless I'm trying to find a vintage. McClelland's Esoterica. No, sorry, not Esoterica. You can find Esoterica, but Penzance. It's so sad, you know. We are losing so many good brands, and I don't know. It's how it is, you know. That's why I started to make a cellar, and to stash tobaccos, and especially now because I can get in European Union, I can get tobaccos much cheaper from USA than from Union, so I'm using that link to stash up some tobacco, usually from one seller distributor in USA, because others are having kind of not so cheap shipping prices, so I'm using the one and only just now. And yeah, anyway, I'm happy that you dropped by. I'm happy that you listened to this video until the end. If you like it, click like. If you want to subscribe, it would be even better. It will motivate me to make more content, that's for sure. So yeah, have fun guys, be happy, leave comments about, yeah, that's one thing, leave comments about good tobaccos that you like, that are in Latakia niche, and also Virginia niche. That's what I would be really interested to get to know. and try, and yeah, have fun. Bye bye.